Evening, everybody.
Good evening.
It's time for the Wednesday Night Live. I'm Marcus, and
Kia.
tonight we're going to do a little special introduction or reintroduction. How you say? Let me reintroduce myself.
Reintroduce myself. My name is
Marcus. Yeah. So we have a bunch of new members. We have several new members in the group this week. So we're going to take a couple of minutes and just kind of reintroduce everything, what we do, and what we stand for. Babe, I'm going to let you do it because you do a little bit better than I am.
Okay, so good evening, everybody, and welcome. We did have a influx of new members thanks to our ambassador, Tam. Tam invited quite a few people in. And so we want to first give a shout out to our ambassador, Tamara Batzel, for inviting people into the group. We hope that you all will participate and be active in the group. We're looking forward to just bonding with you all, connecting with you all, networking with you all of that. So good evening, everybody. Thanks for coming in. This is going to be a great dialogue this evening. I mean, it's going to be amazing. And if you all missed Floyd earlier in the year when he spoke with me, now you have an opportunity to see him and Marcus talk as two guys speaking about relationships, dating, being a single man, all of those types of things. A lot of things that women will typically ask those questions about. And so we are excited, very excited to have Floyd on again. Floyd is a very good friend of mine. We've been friends for a very long time. He's a fellow poet. He's an artist. He's an all-around amazing guy, and I really want him to, provide some insight and his thoughts regarding the single life. And then, of course, my babe, he in a relationship. He gonna talk about a little bit of that, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. First things first. I wish I was a poet. If I could. I mean, both y'all poets. I barely could speak, but that's okay. But main thing I want to say right now is, and reiterate, Kia and I are not professionals. This is nothing but an open forum. These are opinions. These are thoughts. These are
experiences.
What she said. Mm-hmm. We just sharing it. So take what you need, share, engage, and move forward. That's all we're gonna do.
Eat the fish, throw the bones away. We say this all the time because we don't want people, because people will do it. People will send you a message or comment. Y'all ain't professionals. What y'all know about this? We're only providing a platform to share our experiences, to share our perspectives, and to also have a space where others can do the same. We can all learn from each other. We can all have some takeaways from each other. And that's really what we want to have here. So we hope that everybody's open. I do want to say this. Please be respectful. If there's something that's said that you don't disagree with, please don't attack either of the men. It's okay that you don't agree, but we're going to do that in a respectful way. And I'm pretty sure that everybody in this group can be respectful, but I still need to say that. We still need to set the tone and let everyone know about the rules of the group. So please be respectful. Because you might not agree with everything, but you may be open to learning something different or just understanding a different perspective. Mm-hmm. So with that said, Floyd, I know you're on here.
So Floyd, just do an introduction yourself. Tell everybody who you are. Give a little background. Can you please?
Yes, sir. First of all, sorry for the technical difficulties.
We're on Facebook.
Yes, Facebook. Hey, what's up, my sister? How you doing? So I'm Floyd Boykin Jr. I'm a father first, poet, musician, artist, do a whole bunch of stuff, lupus activist, and also run a podcast where we talk about relationships a lot, and also a lot of artsy things, and motivational stuff. So that's the short bio.
Okay. And real quick, what's your relationship status?
Single, very.
Okay, damn. I like that. Very single.
Yeah.
And where are you located, Floyd?
I'm in St. Louis, Missouri.
Okay.
Some say St. Louis, Misery.
I can say I've been there. Yeah, I can say I'd be there every day now. All right. So first thing we'll start off with, Floyd, real quick. About 2 weeks ago, you did a post. This would kick everything off. Remember that post you did where about you loving certain things about certain ladies and this aspect of them? Do you remember what I'm referring to?
I believe, yeah, I remember the post. I'm trying to remember my wording on the post because I think I may have made mention about how I like or I love a woman that's into her passion,
Yeah.
into whatever she's passionate about. How I find that to be very attractive. If she's a musician, if she's a teacher, dancer, whatever she is, and when she's passionate about it, that's a very attractive feature for me. Because if you kind of ain't doing anything, that's not an attractive feature. If you're just waiting on me to do stuff, or you're always available, always at home, always watching, one of those fake reality shows, I need a woman who's very passionate about something.
All right.
Positive.
So real quick, I'm gonna let Kia read the post, so everybody know what we're referring to.
All right, cool.
So I pulled the post up, and I want to read it because this is a very thought-provoking post that you made, Floyd.
Thanks.
So the picture that you have, I'm going to show here to people. I know people can see that. But those are the pictures that you posted with your post, and this is what the post says. Good day, fam. So I've been kind of researching myself in terms of what gets me going as a single 51-year-old man. I have determined that one of the sexiest things that I love about a woman is watching her thoughts and creativity manifest. She can be an artist, a teacher, a musician, a yoga instructor, a cook, etc. But whatever the case, I love watching her do her and allowing me to experience that with her. Now, maybe that's why I'm single, LOL, but I still think it's highly attractive. So my question is, what do you find to be the most attractive thing in a person that draws you in? Very thought-provoking.
Thank you.
Yeah. And that post led us to say, hey, we need to get Floyd on here.
Back on here.
Back on here. And because we talked about it, but I was not all the way clear on what you were saying. Mm-hmm. So can you really explain to me what was your meaning behind that?
About that post?
Yes.
So for instance, the young lady that I posted on there who's a visual artist, a neurographic artist, I was watching her on Instagram, and she was painting, doing her thing. Very focused, very dedicated, not worry about the rest of the world. She was doing her thing, and in watching that, it's like watching, like, maybe you can relate to this, how when Michelle Obama speaks and when she's giving a speech and the guys are engaged, because this intelligent woman is talking, and we just like love that intelligent woman. I feel the same way about someone who's into whatever passion that they may be in, and that's something that draws me. That draws me. It's not the only thing, but it's something that pulls me in when I'm interested in someone and I can actually see them do the things that they love. Because especially with the artist, when you see an artist doing something, you're actually experiencing her thoughts right there in front of you. You're experiencing how her brain is working, from whether she's doing art, poetry, singing, you're experiencing her right there in that moment. And to me, that pulls me in because, one, I'm an artist myself, and I know what it takes to be focused and to stay, engaged without someone, pulling you off of that. So it's just very attractive. I mean, it's just like seeing a teacher teach, that teacher is very passionate about that teaching, and you get to see them in their element. And sometimes we don't really get to see a person in their true element because we're going through all the, hey, so what you do for a living? So what do you like about relationships, when you do all the relationship questions, as opposed to seeing them involved in what they're actually about?
See, what I can respect about that is as I listen to you explain this, I'm seeing a evolution from a man's younger days to his more mature days,
Mhm.
because we always said that men are visual creatures. We fall in love with what we see, but what you say is not necessarily the physical, but the internal. Because I can relate, because you can get pulled in by like, whoa, or what they're doing,
Mhm.
and how they the little things just twist and go, and I'm like, wow. Especially like you said, like an intelligent woman is something special, because it just like it pulls you in, and to me, when that intelligence enhances their beauty, because
Mhm.
just like what we call a super attractive woman with an ugly personality, when you start seeing the ugly personality, that attractiveness goes down. You're like, you're not pretty no more to me. You're not sexy no more to me. And what I'm actually hearing is kind of reverse, because once I see that inner spark now, it magnifies the outer being. That's what I'm getting out of it. Am I close?
I mean, you close. I mean, the thing about it is that a lot of people think that, that looks with the guys that we go for just the looks, and that's it, And I've had conversations with women before, and some of them were saying, well, okay, well, yeah, you are like how someone looks, and y'all don't go deeper than that. And I'm like, that's not true. I'm saying we all approach someone. When we do approach someone, it's because we're attracted to what we see, because that's going to pull you to have the initial conversation in the first place. I mean, nobody's saying, I'm going to try to find the most unattractive person on the planet and start having a conversation with, you don't do that. Whatever attracts you to that person, and attraction is different from everybody. It doesn't mean the same thing for everyone. So if I find someone attractive and I happen to find my way over there to introduce myself, the attraction level is the only thing that's getting me over there. What's going to keep me there is what comes out of your mouth.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, sure, you want an attractive looking person. But like I said, that means different things for different people. What I find attractive, somebody else may not. But it's irrelevant, because it's what I like. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter what somebody else thinks, it's whatever I'm attracted to, but like I said, it's what's coming out of here, what's coming from here, and what's coming from here, here, that's going to keep, me there, or keep me wanting to learn more. That's going to make me even more attractive to the person. Because that look, that initial look thing is really temporary. It's only temporary based upon what you say.
Yeah, and I agree with that. So one of the things we kind of touched on the other week is kind of like getting stuck on one type. I have a type as a male. Some guys say I have a type. For instance, in my past, especially in my 18, 19-year-old days, my type was the lighter the better. The lighter she was, the lighter the black woman was, the better, more was I attracted to her. And once you get stuck on that, and I come to find out, a lot of times you miss out. And have you ever got stuck on a type before?
I mean, yeah, I think we all have. I mean, honestly, we can claim we don't have a type and find ourselves. If you go back and look at the people you dated, be like, oh snap, I got type. you know, But we say that, like for me, anybody who knows me, I like a artsy, earthy woman. You know, I love the natural look. I love, whether it's fro, fade, braids, whatever. I love that. I don't like a whole bunch of makeup, and I don't like the visors on the eyes. I don't like the fake eyelash. So I don't like that. So I like that woman with that natural beauty. Yeah, you get that snuffleupagus pop in, and and I have a problem with snuffleupagus. So so I like a natural woman. You know what I'm saying? Now that doesn't mean she doesn't wear any makeups, that she doesn't have extensions sometimes and this and that. I'm not saying that, but I'm just really love a woman that embraces who she is, just period. And that could mean, I always try to say this, that could mean something different for everybody, because, you know, women do a lot of different things to change their look, you know, whether they change their hair, glasses, whatever, you know, I respect that, you know. But I got that type. I do have a type, you know what I'm saying, that artsy. I do like a fashionable woman. But more like what Erykah Badu said, you know, her dress ain't cost nothing but $7, you know. You know, she clever, you know. I like that kind of one. I ain't talking about that one spending all that kind of money and being materialistic. But whatever your style is, and you find whatever that is, and you make it work, you know. I dig that, you know.
Yeah, so I want to address, before you move on, babe, let's address some comments here.
Okay.
Janelle said, that's it. Lauren said, a woman who knows who she is very sexy to me. She doesn't change based on popular opinion. She embodies an energy that she can only belong to. And Tam just said, I'm all over the place with that skin color. My history is all shades of melanin.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask you something. Would you at this stage willing to step out of that type? Would you be willing to?
It depends, because, you know, my stuff is pretty vague when I start talking about, you know, the type, because you can look at certain different women that I've talked to or whatever, and they don't look nothing alike. But when you start talking to them, you be like, there it is. And for me, being the artist, there's a certain kind of person and kid, chime in here if you agree with me. To love an artist, someone who expresses themselves on a consistent level, it takes a special kind of person to deal with a person like that, you know. So a person like me, you know, I express myself a lot, don't have a problem with it at all, you know. And so it's hard to step out of that type thing we're talking about when I know what I need to within a relationship to feel love, to feel like my cup is being filled, you know, or it's running over, because my cup is already full, so I need her to take it over the top. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And
it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to find that, because if a person doesn't really understand why you do what you do, how can that person really be with you? You know, if they can't at least respect it, because sometimes you do stuff they don't understand. People don't understand. But if you don't respect it, how can we grow and develop?
That I like. Hold on, that part, yes. Mm-hmm. Because that very last part you said, I have to respect it, because I'm not the artist in the family. Mm-hmm. But I respect her. I respect her gift. And now in that respect to her gift allows me to love her more.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I just wanted to address Eric's comment, and he says that he has always been attracted to confident women, and that was the main thing that attracted him to his wife. I noticed a theme here about men being attracted to confident women. And mm-hmm. So it's, for me, I just wanted to chime in just to say that's interesting, because women's perspective, okay, mm-hmm. women's thoughts, their perspective is always, they only care about what a woman looks like. They only want to find woman or a woman that's a size 2 or a size this. But ultimately, it's not just about that. There's a lot of men, and a lot of the men in my circle say that. They like a confident woman. So what would you say about that?
Totally. I mean, you know, you gotta be, I mean, women like confident men. You know,
I was just about to say that.
Yeah, you can't be all, you know, iffy about your stuff. You know what I'm saying? You got to be confident in your way. If a woman is very confident in her belief system, now that doesn't mean she's not willing to expand what she believes. You know, just like I'm willing to expand certain things, because I don't know everything. Everything I know ain't right. You know what I'm saying? So. But she has to be confident, definitely, and believe in herself. She got to have that self-love. For me, she got to come into the situation already loving herself and not looking for me to complete her. That I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy. I don't believe that.
I was saying earlier, you have to be able to do work on yourself before you move into a relationship. And I had this conversation the other day. I don't know where I had it or who I had it with, about when you're broken. I hate to use that word, but when you're not always in the right space and you try to go into a relationship, you can damage the person you're in a relationship with. And in my mind, that starts a cycle. If I'm damaged, now I'm damaging somebody else. We break up. Now that person who I broke up with is damaged and damaging somebody else. And this leads to, and to me, it leads to all men, all guys ain't this, or all women ain't this. This is why we, kind of preach like when you're single, heal, work on yourself, and you reap the rewards if you're looking for a relationship. And that's how I'm looking at things now, and I'm noticing that because I'm sitting back and I'm looking at it. I'm looking at my past, and I'm even looking at the things I do in my past, I do currently. Like, oh, I can't do that no more. I can jeopardize the good thing I got. If that makes sense to you.
Yes. Now, someone asked about us giving an example of what confidence looked like to us, on a woman. What do we find, which is, I think, is a very great question, actually. So for me, and hopefully, this is going to probably come across very poetic, but
I wouldn't expect any less.
A poet, brother.
It's the way she walked, it's the way she talked, it's the way that she emphasize her and express herself mentally, verbally, emotionally. When I see that, it allows me to see her essence, and in seeing her essence, I see her confidence, and it's the way, it's just her style of dress, and when I say that, I mean, it could be a t-shirt, it could be whatever, her hair, she can have some, we won't go buy it, but throw a hat on her and rock her hat, But I mean, singing different things, but for me, a lot of time it's the way a woman speaks when she's talking to you, her education, the way she listens, all of that builds on that confidence, where she can have a one-on-one conversation with me, hear me, and not go back and forth with us, but we're having a conversation and may not necessarily agree, but she's very confident on the knowledge that she has, but willing to learn more. I mean, to me, that's a level of confidence. And of course, on the artist level, if she happens to be an artist, teacher, whatever she is, and just physically seeing her and she know her stuff, to me, that's a level of confidence as well.
You just said something. You said she has to hear you. Mm-hmm. And that's part of her confidence, to hear you. And what you and I kind of discussed this previously. One of the big turnoffs is when a man can't be heard when you're dating or on a date. Can you explain that? Can you kind of elaborate on that for me real quick?
Well, I mean, I've been interrogated on dates, and I think it's a lot of times when, and I know this isn't all women, and whenever I make a statement, it's not all women. I'm just going to put that out there early as disclaimer. Okay. But a lot of women come in with an agenda, and so they're trying to they're trying to see what they're Xing off. So when you get into that conversation, they start interrogating you, and so you're not trying to listen to you. They're looking for key trigger words and key words so they can jump in and ask you something else and don't really allow you to express yourself. So now it's a back and forth thing, and that's a situation you should bail on personally. If you got somebody who's like that, who's in interrogation mode and not really just trying to, having a conversation where you all are going back and forth, where she hears you, where she asks a question, because what I've experienced, one thing I give women props on, and those who are actually genuinely interested in you, they do ask questions about you because they want to learn who you are. And I love that, the downfall, and we talked about this, when you don't allow me to ask you questions, and so it's back-to-back questions, and then, we go on for about 20 minutes, and you say, hey, I noticed you haven't asked me any questions about me because you haven't allowed me to talk, outside of answering your question, So, but, you know, we want them to hear us, and not just like, if a lot of women I hear, when we say things, then they will say, so what you're saying is, and which I always hate that, because they always get it wrong. It's like, you know, no, what I'm saying was that what I just said, and if I need to, you know, clarify that more, by all means, I'll be more than happy to hear that. Now, I do like if it's different when women say, what I hear you saying, you know, and when she says that, then that's her trying to find clarity, I think, you know, but trying to give me subtitles that what you thought I said and you're interpreting what, it's like, you know, two different books, two different pages, and it's all wrong. And people do that a lot. So,
Yeah. And, you know, that's communication. And communication is listening and receiving, going back and forth. And when you say interrogation, I never thought about it like that. But that's what it sometimes probably felt like, an interrogation. And what happens in interrogation? You get on your defensive.
yep.
No, yes. Okay, this, and that. Just like boom, boom, boom. And the organic has left. Now it's the rigid. And this is where I kind of want some ladies out there to hear. You know, we got to get the organic back in and let the flow go. You know, yes, dating is an interview. It really is. But it's not. But it's still a date. You know, so you gotta find that medium. And like you said, you know when they're trying to hear you, and you also know when they try to listen for what they want you to say. And unfortunately, there are guys who out here who know what the ladies want them to say, and they gonna say just to get what they want. You know.
Well, they can't go into the conversation looking for the bad stuff. You know, I mean, their spidey senses are going to go off on the really negative stuff anyway. You know what I'm saying? But some people already go into the date thinking that the man is going to be tripping anyway, because of whatever their experiences have to be. They may have had a bunch of negative experiences, so they go on the date, but they're not going in it with a positive attitude, and that's going to come out in the conversation the way that comes, because you waiting on me to say something wrong. You're waiting to find out, okay, you know, he seemed to be a cool person. Something got to be wrong. I'm waiting on him. I wonder what he thinks about this and this and that. So you start asking these questions to find out what's wrong, as opposed to asking questions to find out what's right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like this is me personally. The one I used to get. If people who know me, I have no biological children. So when I was dating in my 30s, they were like, "You're getting kids," and the first thing they say, "What's wrong with you? Why gotta be something wrong with me?"
Right.
You know, not to accept the answer. Hey, maybe I want to find the right woman to have a child with. Or maybe I want to be married and happy and stable and to have a stable home for a child. They never asked that question, or they never allowed me to say that. What's wrong with you? And that's just the environment sometimes that people are raised in, that you have children early or out of wedlock, or my favorite hate or dislike, my favorite dislike, I ain't gonna say hate, my favorite dislike, they expect you to be a baby daddy. I don't like men being referred to as baby daddies.
Yeah, I don't like that term either.
You know, it don't cause such a negative. It's so negative now. I hate when but it's a whole nother subject. But yeah, I get you. So
Let's address Tam's comment.
Go ahead.
Tam says, I think men may run into women who are dating with intention, and they are trying to seek non-negotiables, not to waste time. It's a juggling act, not to come off as interrogating.
Well, I think that depends on how they're coming across in the way they speak. I mean, coming from a man who's dating women, you know, all women are not going to be that interrogating person, you know. But the ones who are like I do dating apps. You know, I don't really go many places these days, so dating apps seem logical most of the time. And but when they're on there, one of the questions that come across is happen to be, well, what are you hoping to get out of, you know, being on this app? And basically, they're trying to find what's your intention, what's your intentions, what do you want? Do you, you know, on their profile they say I'm dating with purpose. You know, they got that on their profile already, so you don't even, you know, if you click and like and you read the profile, you know, because some of us see a face and be like, oh, I like that, you know, and you don't read nothing. But a lot of women put in there and they say that they're dating with intention. They're not just trying to chat and date. They're looking for a husband, or they're just looking for something solid, you know. And to me, you have that conversation up front, you know, but you can't come across like, you know, an attorney, you know. You gotta just let the conversation flow. You know, come out and ask your questions. But you know, if my response ain't what you want, then hey, you got every right to move on.
So you know, where she ain't trying to date Matlock.
No. You know, I mean, I can date Matlock if you know, if I'm supporting her, you know, being Matlock, but not on me. You know what I'm saying?
I want to chime in on that as well and just say, because I've heard this from several of my male friends as well about the interrogation. And one of the things that they often say, and you just said it actually, babe, about just having an organic conversation. I mean, you don't want the date to feel like it's not a date. And I understand when people are like, I don't want to waste any more time, so I need to figure out if you answer this question and that's on my non-negotiable, I'm going to be done. But I think you're not going to find all of that out in the first date anyway. So if you're going on a first date with somebody and you're interrogating and asking all these questions, I mean, they can ultimately tell you what they think you want to hear anyway. So let things happen in an organic way and find out things along the way. You know, don't waste your time, but don't make it feel like, you know, the gavel is going to go down if the wrong answer comes out of your mouth, or they feel like it's just too much. And so that's basically what I've heard from a lot of my male friends. They're like, it just is a lot. Like, we feel like we can't honestly get to know the woman. And then Jermaine says, even if you're dating with a purpose, find a husband. You're not going to find out on the first date. Like, yeah, like I was just saying. That's one of the friends that was actually telling me that before.
Well, yeah, I mean, I agree with that too, though. The first date is nothing but trying to see if there's going to be a second date. Bottom line, you know, first date, and all those questions that, you know, you're asking, you should have had those conversations on the telephone and got your interrogation out before you actually had a date where you can go out and actually enjoy each other. Mm-hmm. You know, and that's why I remember I posted something in the group about, you know, which would you think would be a good first date, and I had the art museum was one of them, a dinner or something else. And what I found out, I picked the art museum, and Kid was kind of like surprised I picked that, but I picked that because I did that. I went on a date, and it was really all about us talking about the art, seeing our perspective on what we were seeing, and we were just chilling. I mean, it wasn't all these questions about, you know, we had those questions before we went out, because that's how we end up going out, because we had the questions, and she was okay with that, so we went out.
So when you know, was that by voice or by text?
Phone. talking on the phone. If you're trying to go out with me, I gotta see you on video first. If I'm seeing you from an app type of thing, I need to see you and talk to you. You know, because we ain't going anywhere until I see that. Have to experience.
Do you send your location to somebody?
Oh no. We are going to meet in a mutual. I'm just like the ladies. We're gonna meet in a mutual, well lit place with people around.
So you was referring to the dating apps. You know, So this is what I want to ask you. As a single, you say it's pretty much your preferred method now is dating apps.
Mm-hmm.
Is that because you had to adapt to today's society or adapt to your own life? Because I'm noticing that I have noticed the culture has changed.
Mm-hmm.
Where we would go out to find a mate, to having a mate like Uber Eats, and we just look on our phone. And
Well,
do you ever go out somewhere now? At this stage, do you ever go out somewhere and say, "Hey, I'm gonna go out here and maybe I run across somebody. Maybe I run across the next Miss Floyd or something." You know what I mean?
that's completely exhausting, brother. And let me tell you why. It's like when you go up, I think women get approached so much by the wrong type of man that when someone comes up that genuinely has I feel could have a good spirit and good intentions, they're just tired. They just want to get to wherever they're going. They don't want to hear they're beautiful. I like your energy. They don't care what you say. They just want to go home. And so a lot of times when I attempt to approach someone, they're not rude to me, but they're trying to get somewhere, and talking to me is delaying that moment, So a lot of times, that to me is a form of rejection. And I'm 51 years old. I've had a lot of that in my life, and I'd rather go through on an app currently because you can get rid of a lot of the rigmarole, the riffraff. This is what I do. This is what I'm about. Let's chat first. And then if it feels good, let's exchange information, And for me, I'm very busy, so I'm not going out kicking it like I used to. Back in the day, my 20s, it was 3 club jam every weekend. That's what I was out going kicking it every weekend. But I'm 51 now. I'm not going. I come home, I do my art, I play my violin, I cook, I do my thing. I'm not out there in them streets, I'm not out there.
Well, let's say out, not necessarily in the club, because we had a conversation months ago, or not you and I, but on live, about where ladies can go to find a suitor, a mate. And the club is not that. It was not that thing.
It was not on the list.
It's not that thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I explained to them, when you go to those places, you get what you get. You deserve what you get, because on average, when you go to a club looking for a man or a woman, 90% of the time it's not what's going to be for you.
And I don't agree with that completely.
Okay.
Because you're saying, when you go in and you say, well, if you go to a club and you meet a certain type of person, I realize you're at that club. So does that mean you're that same type of person? I mean, you're going to kick it just like they are, And so just like you can see someone out and you say, okay, that's my type. And, you still approach the same type of person that you did. And if you approach them in the club, I'm not saying the club is the best place. For me, poetry spots, jazz spots, stuff like that would be more my club type of thing. But I have met people in the club settings before that were really, really cool people and dated them and stuff like that. So it really depends on you.
Yeah, I can see your point. But to my point was, what I said to them was, go to a place that has similar interests. And you actually just said my point, whereas you like poetry places, you go to poetry places, you go to places that have similar interests, and you'll tend to find somebody more to your suiting, to your type.
Just know that people are jacked up in the poetry community too. And so
you can't lose it, can you?
Well, we hope that we go to these different spots thinking they're going to different. Yeah, are there a different mindset of people that are here? I'm just being truthful, man. If I don't say the truth about people, I ain't loving our people. You know what I'm saying? And
I'm the real. Go ahead.
Just like people who find themselves going to church, or going to some kind of religious thing, part of the reason that they made their way there because some jacked up stuff was happening in life. They needed a change, So they went to church, try to find their kind of peace. And we did the same thing with poetry. We were trying to find our peace, and that's PEACE. And we went in there and we found our family, our energy, but there's jacked up people in every aspect
True.
and every community's out there. So you still have to have the right kind of spirit about yourself. And, when you're trying to meet people in any kind of way. So,
And this kind of goes back to what you were saying about the spidey sense.
Mm-hmm.
Now, unfortunately, we all don't listen. Either we haven't developed our spidey sense, or we ignore our spidey sense.
I agree with that.
And a lot of times, what could have been avoided at the beginning has gone too far. Like, then now you feel like you wasted your time.
Mm-hmm.
And it exactly goes back to when we had our women's panel last year. Mm-hmm. And that was one of the things about learning to listen to that inner voice saying this is not the right person. But the thing about it, even for guys, we haven't learned to listen to that inner voice, and something told me I shouldn't have messed with her. Something told me I shouldn't have did that. How many times we said that? I was like, yeah.
Yeah. Excuse me. I had one of my best dates in recent time was actually from a dating app, and it was virtual. The virtual date was probably one. Let me tell you about this date, Yasin.
Talk to me.
So on my profile, it asks what type of what would you see as a ideal virtual date. COVID was popping hard during this time, of course, and so we were still trying to meet people and still enjoy ourselves, but still be safe, right? So I said I thought it would be a good idea if we both bought the exact same food ingredients, everything, discuss what we wanted to make food, and do a Zoom or FaceTime or whatever at the exact same time, of course, and start cooking and talk during this time. So we made salmon and some vegetables and some other things, and we did everything at the exact same time, and food was done maybe 30 seconds apart from each other. Then we plated our food, sat down, had our little glass. She had wine, I had some lemonade because I don't drink, and the day started at 7. That date was over at 1:00 in the morning, because what we got a chance to do is talk and just talk, be organic, and just have good conversation. And it was one of the best dates that I can have, or that I've had face to face or via virtual, because it was very, very organic, and then it was fun cooking the same meal with somebody at the same time.
Burn the food?
Huh?
Did she burn the fish?
No, because see, the thing about it, a woman who can't cook ain't gonna suggest that. she ain't even gonna bring it up. I'm
not rocking with you, because you don't run. I can cook. Ain't cook shit. No, I'm not rocking with that. Burnt the biscuits and every damn thing. Nope, I'm not gonna agree with you on that one.
Well, see, the problem with that one is when she gotta know how to cook, because if I was cooking for her, and then she, of course, would eat my food, and it's cool. But we're cooking our own food, and she jack it up. She's still hungry.
One eating salmon, other eating pizza, huh?
Right. She's like, I'm just gonna eat some.
Comments here. Let's see. Tam said, I've had a first date that was totally a different person in person. It was crazy. Oh, wow. Helen says, if we're interested, being delayed isn't an issue. And then Lawrence said, I control the narrative. You have to know what you're after as a man. Whatever happens during a date is ultimately good. Just listen and pay close attention. And Tam said that was a good date, Floyd. It was. I like that.
Thanks, Tam.
Let's go back real quick, babe. Let's go back to read what Lawrence said again. I want to hear that again.
He says, I control the narrative. You have to know what you're after as a man. Whatever happens during a date is ultimately good. Just listen and pay close attention.
Now, I can see where you're coming from. And, so this kind of makes me think of something else. And this has been in our circle, as me and Babe's circle, kind of come up lately about women taking a charge, or the so-called, I don't want to say I won't say so-called, but the title of boss chick.
Mhm.
How do you feel that plays in the dating circle these days?
Well, I don't know. My thought process on that is I think I'm conflicted with that because I love a woman who's about her business.
Mm.
You know, if she got a company, publishing company, you know, she's selling CDs, she got a cafe, whatever it is, she about her business. I dig that. You know, I think that's cool. That goes back to having a passion about something.
Right.
You know, when you have a passion about something, you don't spend your whole day worrying about my passion. You know, unless, you know, part of that, you're going to be a support system with that, of course. And we're supposed to be fans of each other's work. You know what I'm saying? And that's the way it's supposed to be. I have a problem with that boss person who comes across like, you know, she don't need us at all, you know, any kind of thing. You know, I got my own money, I got my all this and that. Man can't do, you know, that person. You know, I've already tuned out on that. You know, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how much if I have anything else to say about that. I don't like somebody who's over the
You know,
top on the boss thing.
actually,
you know?
what you said is what I hear. I hear a lot about you can make your money, do this and that, but I hear a lot of guys saying when you say you don't need a guy, that's when they tune you out and they get in this bad mental space. I think it's really a misunderstanding what boss chick is. I think me personally, I would like for a clarification of what it really means.
You got a boss chick.
Yeah. Say what?
You got a boss chick.
If that's definition, yeah. If she's my definition of boss chick, yeah, I'm all for it.
Yeah. Because she's about her business. She's a business woman, you know what I'm saying? But in the same sense, you know, she ain't, you know, does have time for a life outside of selling books and, you know, and performing poetry stuff, you know, but she's about, you know, she's about elevation and motivation, and she's also about loving you, you know. And to me, that's a kind of, if that's a boss chick in my interpretation or what it would be, my definition, then that's the type of woman you would want. And that type of woman I would want, that kind of person.
If that's the definition, like I said, I'm all for
Mm-hmm.
it. If the other definition is about I don't need a man, I'm good with it.
Yeah, I'm out.
Yeah, you push that.
Right.
If what I got is a boss chick, I'm rocking with it because what's always gonna happen in this household, we're gonna be each other's biggest supporter. That's a number one rule.
Yeah, Tam says she personally doesn't like the title boss.
Yeah.
I mean, I honestly don't even use that term, but I mean, in terms of what we're talking about, you know, to me, like I said, you fit that bill if what based on my definition, but I actually don't actually use that. The only time I use boss with a woman, I go old school. I'm thinking about the rapper, The Boss. That's all I do. You know? But I mean,
go ahead, baby.
I just want to jump in real quick and let everybody know that typically we go 1 hour, but we are doing an extended show this evening. It's a treat to have Floyd on. And so we want to continue the dialogue. So we know if some of you all have to drop off because we typically go an hour, that's fine. You can come back and catch up on the replay or go out to the YouTube page and watch it. But we're going to keep going.
So Helen says something I've heard a lot. It says most women don't want to be the boss at home. And that's not, I hear that a lot. You know, they say, a lot of them say, I make these decisions at my career. I do this, and that. It's almost like when they get home, you know, you go ahead and lead. Do what needs to be done. Make the household do what you need to do. And that's what I'm thinking a lot of guys are not hearing. They're not listening. And and I have heard that several times. They're not listening. Yeah, I'm a boss. They say no boss because they doing their career, they doing this and that. It's not saying they don't need nobody. They making their moves in their career, but at home, they don't mind not being a boss. They don't mind sharing. They don't mind making a household better together. And that's what I'm thinking a lot of guys are not hearing. And
I've run in
that message.
I've run into issues on the other side where, where we were just talking about, a woman handling her business. What I run into, a lot of women who may be attracted to me usually see me doing my thing. So either I'm out cooking, performing, doing something artsy, and they get attracted to that. Then when they start to get to know me and see that I'm completely dedicated to that, then it becomes a competition thing where if it's like they feel they're battling with my art, as opposed to, in my mind, I manage my time pretty well. So I do not want to be with my woman every day, and I hope that does not come across in a bad term, but I don't want to be with somebody every day because I got stuff to do, and I hope you do too. So I need to do my thing, and sometimes that doesn't require me being with my lady. Now I do want to talk to her every day, and I do want to communicate every day. But being divorced and being in a situation where I was married 14 and a half years, and I've had 6 years to be in my space, to be honest, I like certain space. Just because when I don't have my son, I have him Mondays and Wednesdays every other weekend. Tuesday and Thursday doesn't mean I'm supposed to be with somebody. Sometimes I want to do Tuesday and just be me and the resident on TV and practicing. You know what I'm saying? It could be just me, but I don't know. I have people who feel like they have to compete with my artistry. The same thing that was drawn to me in the first place. Now you feel like you're competing with that. So I don't really know how to make that kind of. I actually wouldn't even want to make that individual see differently, because the ones that I've connected with and they were pretty cool, understood, and they had their thing. And when we spent time, it was about the quality of time and not the quantity of the time. So,
and that I can imagine. Matter of fact, I can imagine how somebody could feel that way. Speaking from the female side, because feeling that you are in competition with your passion. One of the things Babe what she did at the beginning, which I give her credit for, is she addressed that and she made sure she made time for me, and that, hey, this is what I do, this is what I do, this is what I do. I'm going to give you your time, and you feel that you need that, or if you feel that it's a competitiveness, we'll work on it. But that's one of the things I guess, I don't know if she ran into that in the past.
I did.
Well, she did.
Of course she did.
And that's what I give her credit for. She learned from that, and I reap the benefits. Mm-hmm. This is why we always talk about fixing yourself, healing yourself for a better relationship, a better future. So, and for you, in your case, Floyd, about you don't want to see her every day or be around her every day. I get that. That's cool. Mm. But I think that's going to that's something that I imagine is addressed at the very, very, very beginning of the dating process, huh?
Trust me, I'm very vocal, and it's, of course, I'm not going to say in a rude way or anything like that, but I need my space to create. I do. Being a creative person, I need that time, and sometimes, it's wonderful to have someone sitting there with you, watching you do some of that stuff. Like when we cooking, people are fascinated by me in the kitchen when I'm cooking, because they see a different side of me. Because I'd rather be dancing, I'll be doing my thing when I'm cooking, and so they like to see that. I was saying, that's cool, But that doesn't mean come over every night to watch me cook in the kitchen. You know what I'm saying? We do our thing when we do our thing, you know. Now, mind you, later that may change where I may want more, you know, in terms of more time. But at this present time, I like the fact of, you know, not being around someone all the time. And then when we do connect, you know, it's all about she and I, you know. I like that, you know. I do a lot of stuff. I mean, I do my artwork, you know. I had to, you know, have to show my stuff like I draw, and I start doing this kind of thing where I'm doing my artwork, you know. And this stuff alone takes like 2 hours, 2.5 hours sitting down drawing this stuff, you know. And if you,
That's dope, brother.
thank you.
It
You know. And so you should have your space to draw that, man. You know. But you know, it's about man.
You got
Exactly.
the last two comments.
Come on, bring them comments on, sweetie.
So Lawrence says, a woman knows who the who is in a relationship. If your mind as a man has to go there, it really says more than you know. I'm not sure what he's referencing there. And then Tam says, I think patience is important if you want to nurture or find this person important in your life. A lot of people don't have passions, and they may be worth the time to invest. Lawrence said, nice artwork, bro.
Thank you.
Oh, talking to you, my bad.
Not you, babe.
But you know what? I find myself in a very peaceful place when I'm doing that kind of artwork and stuff like that. You know, but it's about managing time. So if I have someone in my life, you know, that I would manage my time so that person needs. I need her to feel that she's just as important, you know, in my life. But there's different levels of what's going on with my creativity and my time with her. So, for instance, if we wanted to do something this evening for what have you, and I knew that my life doesn't really allow me to do a lot of spontaneous things. So what I would do is I would wake up early to practice and do my thing, get that out the way early in the morning. I would actually set an alarm to get up and so I can get that out the way. So that evening, it's nothing but me and her. So it's really about me managing my time and you allowing me to manage time, you know, and don't say, you need to get your priorities straight. Don't be that person, you know, but you let me know if we have an interest in each other. Trust me, I'm going to manage my time, and you're going to know that I have that interest. But you're also going to know that I'm focused, and I'm going to get I don't do my art or my music or cooking or any of that stuff until I find someone. And some people think that, you know, when you're doing all this stuff to occupy your time until you find the one, and that's not the case at all.
Yeah. The effort. I think, I believe, or what I would appreciate would be the effort. If you're waking up early to do what you got to do, so you make time for me later, I would appreciate the effort. To me, the effort is just as important as the result. Because if you take time to adjust your day, to do this and that, that means you're making me a priority.
Mm-hmm.
So the effort itself, to me, just as much as the result.
Right.
And for instance, for me, I do what I want done. So if I make an effort to do something for her, I want her to recognize that, because I'm gonna recognize the effort she makes.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the effort we were talking about her when she doing her art stuff and poetry things and all the things that make her. Like she said, I gotta make time. You need time for you. I need time to be with you. The effort she does, I have to appreciate that. And it may not come to fruition, but when you make the effort, I'm gonna appreciate that more than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, baby. Any more comments?
A lot of times you work out of town.
I don't think I hear you.
A lot of times you work out of town during the week. So this has been the longest stretch of you being home.
I know you tired of me.
I'm ready for you to go. See you later. You be gone next week. Love you, but it's time to go.
That's all right. I'm gonna record me snoring, put it by your bed. That's all.
But no, like actually, because you're gone a lot during the week, you know, we can have our time during the weekend, and even on the weekends, you go do something separate. I do something separate, and I think that works for us. So I think it's going to vary from relationship to relationship. Mm-hmm. There are times that you're only home Friday evening until Monday morning, and we don't spend every moment together that you're home from Friday evening to Monday evening. But that's what works for us. There are some people who are like, no, I need to be with my mate 24/7. I need to be up underneath the person I'm with all the time. That's neither one of us need that.
But that came along that comes along in the dating process.
Yeah.
That's the third date, fourth date. You know, we start seeing how we move, how I move, what I do, when I'm gone. I was leaving when you first started dating, and you started seeing that. Like, okay, well, am I willing to accept you leaving 5 days out of 7 days? Mm-hmm. You know.
Well, I mean, that's part of the conversation. You know, you gotta have that hard conversation. Like, yo, when you connect with someone, that this is what my life entails. This is what I have to do. You know, give that woman or man that opportunity to decide if they want to deal with that. You know. And a lot of times with, you know, so if I was dating somebody who was constantly out of town, for me, I would be cool with that, you know, but we gotta have that conversation, you know, we can't just like, you know, she said we're going to connect and I'm finding out she's always out of town, you know, she didn't kind of brace me for that, you know, but have that conversation and you assess yourself and be like, you know, do I need more out of a relationship, or is this the kind of relationship I need? And then and you can have that conversation with yourself too, you know, saying, hey, you know, I really like this person. She's going out of town doing her thing, and when she comes back, then, you know, we have dinner, you know, we can do that, I'll serenade with one of these instruments, do whatever, you know, and just respect that, you know.
The only problem that I would run into is the fact that not being truthful with yourself, because you can say it's cool in that conversation, but when it happens, you start feeling a little different. You know what I'm saying? It's I'll be all right. Yeah. Well, I think that could be good. You know, with time, it's like, it's not, I can't deal with this.
Well, that's where truthful conversation come into play. You know, if you're just saying stuff because you're just, you know, moving along with the conversation because I like this person, so I'm gonna say what I need to say to stay in there, then you're doing a disservice to both of you know. But if you genuinely having these conversations, use the hell out of that technology. If you're gonna be out of time, text, smoke signals, whatever you need to do to to stay connected with your person, then y'all make it work. You know, everything is a case by case situation, and both people got to put in the effort. You know.
Yeah, and that's unfortunately, that conversation, it can be had, but it's the truth. It's telling yourself the truth and understanding the truth is the hard part, because I've been in a situation where I'm like, okay, I could deal with this, and I end up resenting it later. Like, I thought I could deal with it, but I can't. You know. I could deal with this person going out and hanging out, but I can't. Or I could deal with this person taking trips without me every other month, but I can't.
Check out the comments.
No, I can't read that small.
I'm coming.
Come on, producer. I got my glasses and I still can't see Jack.
I'm coming. I was waiting till y'all finish that part. So Twyla's coming in now. You late to the party, Twyla.
CBG.
But she says it starts at the beginning of the relationship. That is part of getting to know each other. And I think that's just about communicating, about the traveling or whatever. And then she says, and if your partner is busy with work or other activities, you need to stay busy, LOL, but always communicate.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I think it just goes back to what we originally said. And that's just like, have the conversation, because I'm able to deal with Marcus traveling like he does, but someone else may not be. So it's just about what works. It works for us. It may not work for, X or Y or Z over there, but it works for us. I'm busy. So while he's gone during the week, I'm busy. So I'm not sitting here twiddling my thumbs and like, oh my God, he's not here. So you have to be with somebody who is going to respect that, who's going to understand that, who's going to be supportive of that. Because at the end of the day, that's his job.
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing we ain't touch on with that whole situation, and this comes along with the dating. Even though you're developing a relationship when you're dating that person, if that's going to be a partner or not, we're also developing a layer of trust. Will I be able to trust this person? And that's a big thing when we as we move along, finding our partner is, can I trust this person? Do I feel comfortable trusting this person? Because not only the biggest thing I have, the most valuable thing I have is my heart. And if I give you my heart, that means I gotta trust you with my heart.
Well, if you're at the stage where you're in a relationship at that point, if that's what we're talking about,
Even not in a relationship, as I'm dating you, I'm developing a layer of trust because when I'm in a relationship, I'm gonna give you my heart, but I'm giving you bits and pieces. As I'm dating you, I'm giving you bits and pieces. I'm giving you bits of my being. I have to see what you're doing with it. And that's developing a layer of trust. Because ultimately, if you're in a relationship with somebody, you have to be already a good layer of trust. And that comes from time of dating, talking, communicating, and action. Action. Is she doing things that's trustworthy for me? Or if she goes out, does that inner voice, that spidey sense say, is she doing what she says she's doing, or is she doing something else?
And see, for me, once we get to, and I might be further along in my thought process on what we're talking about.
Okay.
But once we get to the point where we're together, I'm not having that thought process. I'm not having that, is she doing what she's saying to do? Or no, I get it early on, where you're kind of developing that thing. But if we decide we're together, I'm not thinking that way, because you haven't given me a reason to feel that way. And if I got to spend that time thinking like that, and then you're not the right person, and I got some healing to do, so that I don't have that thing. I hear a lot of people talk about, the trust issues and this, or can I trust this person? And yeah, you said you were going over to Johnny's house, but did you go to Johnny? You got stuff going on there, in that scenario. And y'all need to work through some stuff, because I ain't got time to think about that kind of stuff. Yeah.
The dating process is developing that trust.
Right.
You can't trust somebody right off the bat, do you?
No. Now, that's why I say I might be a little further along that thought process.
So once the relationship I'm giving you my heart, I'm giving you my trust. But this is what we're developing. This is part of the dating process. To me, is like developing that trust. Like, especially if I call you and I need you. Hey, one thing that's gonna be, you're gonna be right there on the spot. Mm-hmm. Don't ask me what. If I say, hey, I need you over here now you gotta say for what? I'm coming.
Right.
Trust that you know if I'm calling you for something, it's for something important. You can ask me a question later, but you can ask me a question while you're grabbing your keys. And that's, to me, that's a big thing.
And see, that trust, developing that trust, can take, it depends on the people, of course, on how long or how soon you develop that trust. Because some people come into things a little bit more trusting than others, But then other people have some triggers that they see, and they be like, I don't know if I, trust this person, But for me, honestly, the next person that I date or get in a relationship with, I won't say date, but the next person that I'm in a relationship with, I definitely got to be 100% there, in terms of trusting this woman with my heart, with my emotions, trusting that if I share something with her, that at some point you're not turning that around in a conversation and using it against me in the conversation, and that happens with people often. It's happened to me on several occasions. And then first thing I'm saying, so you're going to do that? You know, like
So
that.
I'm
You know, don't turn my words.
pause you there, Floyd, because we have a question that's connected to what you're about to say or where
Okay.
you're going. So I want to deal with some comments here. And Twyla says, I'm in a long distance relationship and it works because we communicate daily. We also discussed how we like to communicate, text or phone calls that needs to be articulated as well. And we kind of touched on that a little bit earlier. And Tam says, do you gentlemen have any suggestions on how to get a man to open up and be vulnerable? I know it's a hard thing for anyone, but I feel men struggle a little more with this. And Helen said, facts.
Right. You want to address that, or
Okay. Me personally, I would say, yeah, men are less likely to open up. Some say it's genetics. Some just say how you're raised. How it is, whatever it is. To me, the way we open up is when we start really trusting that you're like you said, not going to turn against me, or what I say to you is really between us, or that you're really going to give me that emotional support that a man needs. A man may not see he don't need support. No, we do need emotional support because, all right, this is a hard one for me. I'm gonna give you an example for myself. When my father died, I was married. I didn't cry at first. I didn't weep. I just held it in, and I just went about my day, went about my home life, nothing. Like, okay, I'm gonna go to the funeral. This is that. Everybody good, and I didn't feel I could open up at that moment to her. And this is my wife. And I was on the road. And that next day I was on the road for work, or the next week before the funeral. And I'm sitting in the hotel room. I'm talking to her, but I couldn't feel I could be opening up to her. And that shows me that I wasn't the right person. This one here, I can do that because it's something about what she says to me, how she talks to me, the organic, what she does, that I feel that certain comfort level. And to me, a man has to feel a certain, I think once she showed that he could be comfortable around you, he's going to open up. But he has to feel that comfort and that support that only you as the woman can bring. You know, some men can't do it because they still need help. They need more. They need external help. External help meaning a therapist. They need external help. They just not ready yet. Or somebody who can help them express because they don't know how to express. And to me, a good partner is going to help them do that. It just takes time. It's not going to be overnight. But it can be generic though, with the right person. That's all I could think. Your turn.
Well, I would say part of that is what you said about a therapist. One thing for a man to be able to open up, he has to acknowledge that he has that issue, you know, and that he needs to seek out, you know, that external help, you know. If, you know what I'm saying? He has to acknowledge. If he's not acknowledging that, and you know, that's going to be an issue too. Even if everybody else sees it, he still got to acknowledge it and seek help for that, so he can be a better communicator, someone who can trust and not have trust issues anymore. You know, so he has to do that. But for me, you said something else that I totally agree with, and that's the way that she speaks to you, you know, and the way she listens to you. And, you know, if a woman is shutting you down or making your statements feel devalued, you know, then the more she does that, the less you open up. You start shutting down. And because you feel like, well, what's the point, you know? Every time I say something, you're gonna turn it around and make it seem like it's simplistic or it's irrelevant. So why even talk about it? So The way you talk to that man is extremely important on how vulnerable he becomes with you, you know. And I remember there was this young lady. I thought this was it made me feel a certain kind of way. We were talking about something, and I was trying to get to know this young lady, and I was trying to express myself to her, right? Well, she had a different perspective on what I was saying. So she asked me, "May I give you another perspective?" And she said it in that tone, "May I give you another perspective?" I said, "Sure," you know. So she talked. After she said her thing, she asked me, she said, "So how do you feel about that perspective?" And truthfully, that was a complete turn on for me because she didn't say, "Well, what you need to do is do this and that. The way you think is wrong." And, you know, she didn't say all that stuff. She was like, let me present something to you and get your feedback on it. And, you know, and I like that because she cared what I thought. She didn't give me my thought. She cared what I was thinking and how, and because I could have said, "Well, I hear what you're saying, but I still feel this way." I could have said that, but she actually made perfect sense with what she said. But I was able to listen to her and she was listening to me. So it allowed me to share more information with her because I felt comfortable.
And hell, she addressed your ego.
Completely.
You know, we are men are ego based. You stroking my ego. I'm breaking down my walls, and like you said, what I say to you can't. I know that you're not going to turn against me because one thing, when you're your mate or partner relationship, they know the codes to the nuclear weapon. They know how to press the button to make you blow up.
Yeah.
And that's how goes the trust. Yeah, they goes with the trust. You know how to make me just lose it. And I trust you not. I trust you enough to know that you're not going to use it. Mm-hmm. You know the triggers. Okay. Yeah. Hope to answer your question, Tam.
Okay, so we have reached 8:30, and there's still so much more we could be talking about. What does that mean, babe?
What's that?
We got to bring Floyd back.
Oh, he ain't going nowhere.
We got to bring Floyd back.
Where he going?
We actually need to make Floyd an ambassador too. We're gonna ask him nicely off camera, but
you know how you gotta address it, you know.
Yeah, we need to have Floyd as our male ambassador.
Hold on, you know how you gotta say it to him? Let me say it to a different perspective.
Right.
I'm gonna write a poem about it. So Floyd and I are gonna close this thing out by sharing a poem with you all. I hope that Floyd also plays one of his instruments. I'm just putting it out there. I'm going to start it off because Floyd's going to end this thing and you all are going to be like, whoa.
Oh, Lord.
This is, because I haven't shared this with you guys, but Floyd was my mentor, my poetry mentor, taught me a lot, helped me with publishing my first book. So, he's definitely extremely gifted. So you guys are going to enjoy. So the piece that I'm going to share is actually from my first book. I chose to do something out of the first book because this is the book that you helped me with, Floyd. And so I got my special shout out to you in the front. But one of the things that we constantly talk about in the group, because the thing that I think sets this group apart from a lot of other groups out there is the fact that we are inclusive. So we have singles, we have people that are dating, we have people that are married, we have people that are divorced. So we have all people from across the board that are a part of the group because we can all learn from each other. And so this piece that I'm going to be sharing with you all is, again, from my first book called My Words Healed My Soul, and it's called My True Love. I've clearly crossed the line here, allowing my mind to escape in this place where our hands have interlocked, The beats of our hearts match, and the world has completely come to a halt. The world as I knew it just doesn't exist anymore. I've succumbed to the desires of your touch. I'm dancing on the tippy toes of love, allowing my hand to trace the outline of my heart as it makes a beautiful melodic sound that only you can create. It is clear this is right because I used to hesitate at obliging at your every glance, when finally my heart just had to take a stance. I've made it clear to you and everyone else that I've finally chosen you. I'm no longer teetering on the sidelines, watching everyone else's glow. It is time for me to have life's rewards and continue to grow. In my long time admiration of you, I always failed at getting to intimately know you. Taking this time to sit quietly and alone with just you, making memories to date you eventually, preparing trips and even quiet time, just me and you. And although I really wanted to make you number one and admit you are second to none, I had to take this journey to meet you again, creating lasting memories and demonstrating how your love has changed me, finding your love in a new and greater height. I've learned to appreciate and love everything about you, from your thick lips to your wide hips, to your long locks and that stride in your walk, even the wide and amazing smile you have that catches the world's eyes. You are a simply amazing love, a true, devoted, and loyal love. The love I've always wanted and searched for. I truly thank God for blessing me with her, my true love for self. And that is that piece. And that piece again is out of My Words Healed My Soul. And I shared this particular piece because we talked a lot about self-love. And in order to love someone else and in order to receive love, you have to love yourself first. You have to love yourself. Self-love is a requirement to having a healthy, positive, loving relationship. So we have to start with pouring into ourselves and doing what's necessary for ourselves so that we can be better partners to someone else, if that's what we desire. Because everybody doesn't even desire that. I'm not even going to go there. But you're up, Floyd. What you got for us? Thank you, Joyce. I see your snaps.
I was looking at some old poems that I wrote when you I don't know if you remember, I did like a month where I was just writing just poems every day and posting them. And I just saw a couple on here that I hadn't read probably since I posted it. And that's kind of cool. Kind of cool. So I was trying to see which one of those I wanted to do. I think there's one called Comfortable that I saw. And I think I'm gonna read that because we just talked about it.
Thank you, Tam.
And I'm gonna do a little improv little violin thing here.
Okay.
Give me a little.
See through.
Yep, it's acrylic.
Damn.
LED lights.
Floyd so fancy.
So, can y'all hear that?
Yep.
All right.
I would have jacked that all up. And you self-taught. That's even more dope.
Thank you. Now I'm gonna read that little poem, and I appreciate that. And this is called "Comfortable." Poem number 25.
Okay.
So, in other words, it was written on the 25th of February. So I'm not sure what happened or why it happened or why it keeps happening, but I feel so comfortable with you. Never intended on us to let down all of our guards. Spiritually nude together, we make love together. One touch leads to paradise. We sacrifice our innocence, but we created a stranger bond that no one can diminish. Our friendship is phenomenal, but for some reason, you don't see me like I see you, but I'm thankful that you even see me at all. I feel like Darius Love Hard Nina. I just want to go up and talk. And then we burst out in laughter because it's keep happening. See, you are my Love Jones. You are my friend. My heart is securely in your hands and we stand firmly together. I feel incredibly safe with you. I can actually and genuinely say I love you. I will never hurt you. I feel so comfortable with you. I'm not sure about our future, but I am glad that today you are in my life. We keep having these peaceful moments. Maybe one day you will see me in the same way I see you. I don't want to confuse you. I don't want to lose you. I wish you could choose me like I've chosen you. I love you, and I'm so comfortable with you. That's that piece.
Yeah, I told y'all he was going to leave y'all with that fire. That fire.
I like writing and talk about love.
Stage together, Floyd. I miss that.
I do too, man. I do too, man. I mean, at some point, I hope it can happen again. You know, shoot, everybody been trying to get me out of the house, man, to perform. I'm like, I'm good. You know, I'm good.
Yeah, I ain't been performing either. So
Yeah,
I get it.
Yeah. I perform right here on this couch.
But they confirmed the real.
There you go.
Okay, so you guys did amazing tonight. Amazing. We really enjoyed the conversation. There's always a ton of other things that we can continue to talk about. And then we really appreciate your perspective and your experiences, Floyd. And we hope that you will return and we can have a part 3 of this conversation. Actually part 4, because you came on with me the first time and then you had Rick and now he's on. But you know, we had what's your friend's name? Oliver. So really part 5. So the men have really been showing up lately. So ladies, don't say that the men ain't showing up and having these conversations and sharing, because they're showing up and sharing. We need them to show up at the events more. But this is a start. Because we're having the dialogue, we're having the conversations. And I appreciate that the ladies were asking, well, Tam was asking questions and Helen was leaving her comments. And, you know, so people were engaging. Lawrence left his comments. Am I leaving out anybody?
Joyce was snapping.
Joyce was snapping.
And Janelle was snapping.
Eric said something. Janelle, Twyla, we appreciate all of you all for being active. We really, really appreciate that. So until next Wednesday, we do want to also remind you all that we're running a sale on all of the new products, the mug, a pen, and the tote bag. So if you haven't purchased the items, please do so. If you haven't checked out the new website, also go out to the website, www.dateaffirmthereal.com. And we're happy about the website. We launched the website at our 1-year anniversary of creating this group. It took a lot of work, but we got it done. I really want to shout out our photographer, videographer, and our web guy for just doing an amazing job. So if you guys have any topic suggestions, send them to us. If you want to be a guest on the show, let us know. Okay? And then we'll have a conversation about what that looks like and get you on as a guest. There's going to be some changes in 2023. So And we're not going to be going live the last week because of the holiday.
Yep.
So we have 3 more weeks in December to get through some other conversations. So we're looking for some topics for the next 3 weeks. We have some, but we'd love to hear if you all have any suggestions, and we can have that conversation. So, Floyd, what closing words do you have for us?
Well, first of all, I want to thank you all for just having me on here on this platform, reaching out to me, and I enjoy talking with both of you all. You know, it's always great having these conversations and hearing different perspectives. You know, whether we agree or not, it's always respectful. You know, and I love that. You know, and just keep your head up, stay positive, keep supporting this group because it's an amazing group. And I try to, participate when I can in terms of different questions. I be having these random thoughts that come in my head. I want to ask this question, and so I put it out there. And just stay peaceful, man. Just love on each other.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you brought that up, because in closing, I want to say, keep giving us some very, very thought-provoking questions and comments in the group, because it's always met with a lot of engagement. It's very thought-provoking for a lot of us. I can't say for everyone, but a lot of people, your comments and your questions on there are very thought-provoking. So keep them coming when you can, when your schedule permits. But we enjoy them. Know that we appreciate you. We wishing you nothing but love, and we are sending out love. That love comes your way. So.
I'm gonna have to draw my love if I can't. I have to draw my love and create my own thing. You know what I'm saying?
You knew he was gonna do it. You knew he was gonna do it. It's a sick person. What's your closing words, babe?
Whatever she said, ditto. So
very profound.
Love yourself, love who you with, and love positive. That's it.
There
That's
you
it.
go. Boom.
All right.
Boom.
Thanks, y'all. Peace out. Thanks, brother.
Peace. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.